Hi, it's Chris with the Wild Berry Patch, and we're marching into Mark, and this is chapter 5. If you want the resources for this and the other chapters of Mark, go to www.thewildberrypatch.com. We're starting in the area of the Gerasenes, which is the same area that's called Gadarenes in Matthew. I have a resource that explains that. When Jesus comes, the boat lands, and as Jesus is getting out of the boat, a man comes up to him shouting, "O Jesus, Son of God, what have thou to do with us? Do not to torment us." This poor man, he lived in the tombs. People tried to restrain him, but he no longer could be restrained by chains and shackles. He would destroy them. He was always crying out, and he was walking amongst the tombs and in the wilderness, in the mountains, and he was cutting himself with stones. He was in a pathetic situation. But the demons within him recognized Jesus, and they were telling Jesus, "Don't send us out of this region. Don't torment us." And Jesus said, "You need to come out. You have to come out of this man." So they said, "Send us into the herd of swine." So Jesus did. And immediately the swine ran off the cliff. But the man was delivered. And he was seen sitting with Jesus, clothed, so he probably wasn't clothed before, in his right mind, and calm. The people who owned the pigs were a little bit upset, and so they begged Jesus to leave their area. Now, apparently there's a possibility that this is actually a Gentile region. So this would have been one of his first Gentile miracle. The man asked him, "Can I come with you?" And Jesus said, "No. You need to go back to your family and friends and tell them what God has done for you." And so not only did Jesus deliver him from the demons, he made him clean again, and he restored him to his family. Now, the next part of the chapter talks about Jairus' daughter and the woman with the issue of blood. I'm first going to talk about Jairus' daughter. So Jairus comes and meets Jesus. Apparently, everybody knows where he is at all times. And, "Come, Master, for my daughter is dying. And if you just touch her, I know she'll be made whole." So as they're going, there's this little aside with the woman with the issue of blood, and then the people show up from his household and say, "Your daughter's died. Don't bother the master anymore." Well, Jesus hears this, and he says, "Don't be afraid, only believe," which for me, that is a very strong statement. Well, they go on, and everybody is doing the funeral wailing and stuff, and Jesus says, "She's only asleep," and walks in, takes her hand, and says something in Hebrew or Aramaic, I don't know, and she gets up and she walks, and he says, "Feed her." Well, then you go back a little bit, and there's a woman with an issue of blood of 12 years, meaning she was unclean. She couldn't be out in public. And she says, "If I can only touch the hem of his garment and just touch it, I'll be made whole." Well, he knows the power has gone out, and he turns and he says, "Who touched me?" And he says to her, "Daughter, your faith has made you whole." Daughter, she's part of the family of God. And he states to everyone that can hear, your faith has made you whole, and she is made clean. Thank you for joining me for this chapter 5, marching into Mark. The Lord bless you and keep you and make his face shine upon you and give you the peace that passes all understanding and keeps your heart and mind in Christ Jesus. Thanks. I'll see you next time.